when we wake up Thursday morning, we're in a state of national emergency.
Across the country, Belizeans will awaken to a new reality on April 2nd. The biosecurity risk associated with the transmission of the novel coronavirus has prompted government to take stringent measures in restricting the free movement of citizens. With the Governor General's assent, the Barrow administration is now empowered to perform actions and impose policies that, under any other circumstance, save for a natural disaster, civil unrest, or armed conflict, it would not be authorized to carry out.
We have a plan in place. All we're waiting for this to be made official and law, and the generals and the colonels will be the ones to direct how best it is to carry out this particular mandate. As you know, the police have the power of arrest, but in here we are seeing where the police can bring in the help of the B.D.F and the Coast Guard to help with arrests if necessary. But there is a plan in place. It's a Herculean task indeed, because you're talking about the entire nation, but it is something that we have been thinking about now for the past month.
Given a third confirmation of COVID-19 on March 29th, the Belize Constitution Emergency Powers Regulations 2020 have been enacted, effecting a state of national emergency. Such a proclamation warns the citizenry to change normal behavior and requires government agencies, including law enforcement, to implement urgent strategies.
We have a plan to implement it, because indeed we do want to enforce the law, but we want as soft a touch as possible and not as much as the military presence. That's not necessary. But if we have to, and that's the only way to enforce what we have to do to prevent anybody else from contracting this disease, then that's what we will do.
This morning, during the final hours just ahead of the national state of emergency, there was a flurry of activity in parts of Belize City. On the south side, residents of Port Loyola joined a meandering line of last-minute customers at 88 Shopping Center. Among the policies stipulated in the Belize Constitution Emergency Powers Regulations 2020 is social distancing. Under this piece of law, social distancing is defined as the practice of staying at home, avoiding crowds, and refraining from touching one another, and maintaining a distance of no less than 3 feet from other persons. Many in that queue were not adhering to these guidelines, and the police had to be called in.
Guys, we just want to maintain our distance, so I want you guys to work with us, work with police, work with yourself. As long as we adhere to these rules, everything will be okay. Everybody are getting a turn to go inside the store.
It is clear that there is a real risk to the health and lives of Belizeans as a result of the outbreak of this infectious disease. In response, far-reaching measures must be put in place to limit the negative effects of this pandemic. I am satisfied, having received the best advice available from experts and after consultation, that it is in the public's interest to support the decision to declare a state of emergency.
For the purposes of preventing, controlling, containing, and suppressing the spread of COVID-19, as well as maintaining peace and public order, a curfew will be imposed during the hours of 8 o'clock p.m. and 4:59 a.m. of the following morning for the entire country during the public emergency.
One of the first things that we've done operationally is to step up the emergency operating the emergency operating mechanism that we had, the EOC. One that has been functioning very well in terms of bringing all the players that have been working so far in the field to coordinate their activities. And that EOC will be ramped up and have within it the heads of the various security apparatuses.
The hotline for the National Security EOC is 0800 COVID-19. That's 0800 268 4319. Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.